Good afternoon. I'm Richard Myers, M-Y-E-R-S, Chief of Police for the City of Newport News. We called the press conference today due to community concerns about the incident that occurred last evening. Yesterday at approximately 10:26 p.m., the Newport News Communications Unit received a call on the non-emergency line in regards to a shooting. The unidentified caller reported that 2 people had been shot and they were in the 800 block of 25th Street. Approximately a minute later, officers arrived at 851 25th Street, locating 13-year-old Jada Richardson and 17-year-old Domingo Davis, suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. Newport News medic units arrived on the scene and pronounced both victims deceased at 10:32 p.m. Several people were on the scene at the time officers arrived, and we would characterize them as uncooperative with the investigation. While the exact motive and the identity of the shooter and motive of the perpetrator are unknown at this time, the evidence clearly shows that gang involvement was an element in this incident. This most recent tragedy serves to underscore an all too common theme in our communities of a culture of young people being involved in gangs and violence, and accompanied by a reluctance for people in the community to come forward with information regarding these crimes. The Newport News Police Department, the men and women who respond to these calls and are out working hard every night to try and keep the community safe, are outraged by this senseless act of violence. The loss of 2 teenagers to gun violence is appalling. We are asking, begging the community's help in identifying the suspects involved in the murder of these 2 young people. There is some degree of likelihood that this incident could potentially have been a retaliatory act, and there's further potential for additional retaliatory acts. The only way to break this cycle is when people in the community who have knowledge come forward and help us identify who the dangerous people are on the streets with guns seeking their next prey. Now, we understand that there are some people in the community, for a variety of reasons, who may be reluctant to speak directly with the police. They may be afraid for their own personal safety if they're seen talking with the police. They may not have a relationship with anyone within the department with the trust level needed to talk to the police. But everyone in the community has a trusting relationship with someone that they can turn to. It could be the pastor of their church. If it's a student, it might be the school resource officer in their school, or a principal or a trusted teacher. We have the crime line here in the Hampton Roads region that people can leave anonymous information. It's essential that people step forward and say, enough. When did it become the norm for young people to carry around guns and settle their disputes with bullets rather than with words, or as some of us, maybe in our younger years, fisticuffs, which also isn't acceptable. But when did it become the norm that that's replaced with guns? And we're seeing the disastrous results. Now, this is a good opportunity to also reiterate a press release we put out earlier in the week about a planned curfew operation in our southeast community. Captain Randall, who's in the back of the room, has put together a special curfew detail which will begin, I believe, tomorrow evening, targeting underage youth who are out after the hours of curfew. We will take violators of curfew into custody, and their parents will have to come to our South Precinct Station on Briarfield to receive custody of their children. You would hope that most parents during spring break, when kids are out of school, are going to show responsibility and keep their kids at home where they should be. If they don't, then we're going to do our best to take them into custody and have their parents come get them. Now, in saying that, I would point out that our 13-year-old victim last night, we have no information that that was a curfew violation. There are occasions when parents have approved of an underage youth to be at a specific location for a specific purpose. So I'm not drawing a link necessarily between our curfew operation and the incident last night, but we bring it out only to highlight our commitment to trying to work with our community to keep youth safe. I can't imagine there is a parent in Newport News or any city beyond who doesn't want their child safe, and we all have to work together on that. At this time, I would welcome to the podium the mayor of the city of Newport News, Mayor McKinley Price, for some comments.